Hi. Hello. Good morning. Yes. So let me start this session, morning session today. I want to show you how you can use real world as your playground. Let me introduce myself first. I am an Android and Maps GD, and I'm an Android consultant as well. I love augmented reality, and I have been writing a little bit about that on my blog, creativetech.blog. And I'm also an organizer at GDG Oslo. Have you seen this game? I cannot see the sound, but can you clap if you have seen this game, if you know what it is? Yes, so some people know. It's Wizards Unite, one of the latest popular games. And anyone played this game? The same? Can you clap? Oh, wow, one person. Yes, fantastic. So both games are based on the same platform, on the same API. And today I'm going to tell you and teach you how you can build games like this, what is behind it, and how you can create games based on real world. Let's start a little bit with the history. We are playing games since many years, and the computer graphics became more powerful, we were able to create duplicates of the cities. Here is the real London, and here is the recreation in one of the games. Anyone can guess which game it is? Sorry? Yes, that's right, Assassin's Creed. I see some gamers in the audience. This one is Chicago. It's also a 3D replication of Chicago. It's one of the other games. And this is Grand Station, the name of the game. Also a recreation of New York Grand Station. And as you know, this is very costly, and of course it's very beautiful, but the cost of creating these games is very high. And the way we were playing was not the way we play now. We were sitting at home, we used our computers, and we were just sitting and playing there. So we could teleport to any city, like to London, to Chicago, or anywhere place else. But something happened in 2016. And as you know, this is the Pokemon Go. Anyone can clap who didn't play Pokemon Go? Oh, wow. You have not played. OK, but at least you know what this Pokemon Go is. So I see some people may not have played it, but let's see some statistics. So the game got World Genius record for the best revenue the first months. And some statistics as well, 57% play 1 to 3 hours a day. And that was amazing statistics for a mobile app, for a game, because usually people don't spend more than 15 minutes. And of course, running errands is very boring, so 68% would play Pokemon Go while running errands. And also the good thing, or I feel, the diversity was almost 50-50%. It was 46% women and 54% men that were playing Pokemon Go. And you probably don't know this person. This is Prime Minister of Norway playing Pokemon Go. So that's how popular the game was. And for those who have not played it, I will just quick gameplay review. So you have a map. You travel. As you travel, the map also, it's like Google Maps, basically, but in the other dimension. And you find spots where you can play or catch a Pokemon. And some Pokemons like to be near the water, some Pokemons like to be near the sea or near the roads or near shopping malls. So they appear at these places. And there is the AR part of it, so you play in AR. This Pokemon appears from somewhere. And what happened is that people saw how popular this game is, and they wanted to create clones. The same gameplay, maybe a little bit different business logic, and I was one of those developers that was building a clone of this game. And only in Norway we had 3 clones. And Norway is 6 million people, 5 to 6 million people. So you can imagine how many clones there were in China. So, so that's our AR game, and that's the map where we would place the games. So the most challenging things for everyone building these games were to find out where you can play. Where is this spot that is, first of all, safe to play? Well, I guess the one to the left is Photoshopped, I hope. And I hope everyone is safe. But you probably have seen in some news that people went crazy. And it was important to have these playable spots where it was safe, and especially because a lot of kids were playing. And this is not convenient to play in front of the emergency exit or train station, like this guy, for instance. I hope he was not playing. I hope it's like staged. And so what if I tell you that now we have something that can help you build this type of games very easily? And let me introduce you to Google Maps platform gaming solution. And let's play a video. Yes, so that was the introduction I have seen in 2018 when it was introduced. And a little bit of history on the timeline. Introduced in March 2018, and back then it was only open for big game studios. First games went out in summer 2018, and that was Walking Dead Our World, and the other one, Ghostbusters. Oh, sorry. And so this year, I was so excited that this year I got my hands on SDK, and I could see how I can build something like Pokemon Go or Wizards Unite or whatever game you like. Or it doesn't have to be a game. You can use it for training, for like driving a car or something, not while driving a car. So this platform offers 2 main features, 2 main components, and now we will go through those, and I will show you how you can do and customize and build the game. So let's start with world building. So maybe a bad news for some of you, but this is the Unity SDK. So at the moment, we cannot build native apps. Well, we can build native apps, but in Unity. This is what default buildings or default map is like. So it's just brown boxes. And this is New York. This is, I think, Broadway, like that. Yeah, this is Broadway. And let's see how you can go from there to customizing and making your own world and maybe creating something that looks like your brand or your product. So the easiest way to customize is to change the material or change some of the properties of the material of the buildings. And here you can see I just changed colors, and it changed as well. So that's like basically 2 minutes work, and then you have something customized. The next one is adding a texture. As you see now, we have Windows. And Unity and this SDK is using 9-slice scaling. And if you work with gaming, you know what it is. I also use it in Android native projects, but just a little refresh. So if you have, can you see? Yeah. So you have some image, and if you scale it without 9-slice, it will stretch like this. And if you use 9-slice, the 1, 3, 7, and 9 will stay like they are. They will not scale. 2 and 8 will scale horizontally, and 4 and 6 will scale vertically, as you see like here. So that's why we will get, you see 5 is just deprecated several times. So there. And this is the example what you will get from the first one. And the next thing you can do, the most complicated, is you can change the prefab. So any of you, or okay, how many of you know Unity? Can you clap? Okay, some of you know. Okay, well, prefab is basically your 3D object. Is a 3D object, custom or whatnot. And so what you do, you say, I want the building type 1 to be like this structure or another model. So you just change the basic default brick with your selected model. And what I have not mentioned is that all over the world, there will only be, let's say, 5 types of buildings. There is not things like in Japan, you have one type, like 1 to 100, and then in New York, you have other types of buildings. They are all the same all over the world. So changing the prefab of the type of the building will affect everywhere. It will be everywhere like that. And what you can also change is like rolled with, if you want to use it like that. There are some other options. You can make parapets, like if you see it, yes, here like that. And there are many, many more options you can choose. So this is the example of day and night shift. And you see the texture will change to like that it's lighter, and yeah. So, and this is like very simple solution. You can make it pink, you can make it donuts, you can make it lollipops if you want. You can make a very custom world. So the only limit is your imagination. You can make anything in this platform. So let's go to mission planning. So as I said, when I was building a clone game of Pokemon Go, we really struggled with where can we play, where can we make user play the game? Because back then in Oslo, we had a lot of construction work coming up, and we knew that a lot of areas were closed. And we didn't know if there was a good place to play. So where to play? That's a question. Let's say we have a game where you need to have 3 types. One for money. Let's say we will generate something near the banks. One for food. Let's say we generate a play or a game near grocery stores. and one for poison or something near pharmacies. And that is possible with this platform. So Playable Location API was introduced, and it will give you curated locations where you can play the game. But it's not only that. You can filter by the criteria you need. Let's say some of you might want to have a game only in the parks because it makes sense, or maybe it's for the kids and that's why it's the most safest way to play. Or there is even a game for, let's say you are walking a dog and it's more convenient to do it in the park. And combine these two and you will get the location you can play in. So the platform has something that's called Playable Location Explorer. And this will show you what you can get, how many playable locations there are in this area. And you can also understand what kind of criteria you can filter on. So first, you can get the types, the place ID, and many other options. You can filter by the location where the point type, and like center or snapped. So it means, let's say we say, let's generate locations in the park. And what means center? That it will be most probably generated in the center of the park. Snapped means that it will be generated on the corners of the park or on the edges. You can also see access type, private, paid, and what's more important, adult only, if you need it. And ranking. Ranking is important for some games. Like, do you want it to be busy, or is it a game for introverts and rather be non-busy street? And so on. And if it's in the venues, etc. And there are the types as well, so where you can generate. And there are the list is endless, like maybe 200 different types. I have not counted. So this is a little bit technical, let's say. That's a post request to the API. You set all the filters you need, and that's what you send in the post. And that's just a snippet of what you get. Of course, you can get more. As I said, you can get place name, you can get type ID, you can get address, etc. if you need that in the game. So it's very easy to customize for your needs. And of course, you can scale. And as Google gets more than millions updates every day for their maps, that's one thing. So the playable location will be accurate in the sense of maybe it's a construction or maybe it's the new building there. And it also scales. You can play all over the world, except for some countries, of course, China. I think there is some problems with South Korea, but I'm not sure. But it's also, there is a list of these countries at the documentation. So you can see right away what countries it will not be available in. But there are only few, maybe 7 to 10 countries. And so that was a Google platform for games. And I think that Google Maps, the combination of Google Maps and these kind of games, plus the development since 2016 on the AR with AR Core and AR Kit will give us very good game in the future. But as I said, it doesn't have to be a game. You can make something educational, you can make something for the tourists, you can make something for training, and so on. Maybe you make a quiz. I saw there have been very popular like these quizzes to solve crimes. So that's one of the solutions. So as I said, it doesn't have to be a game. And there are several games already available, so you can see what they have done. Unfortunately, none of them customized the buildings very much. Like, let's say, Wizards Unite, they only generate some of the prefabs on the places they need, but it's not very customized at the moment. Walking Dead, it's also not very customized in the sense of buildings. But it's an interesting game, and I ask you to check it out if you want to create something like that. Just check out one of those games and see what they have done and how it works in your country. Maybe if you are not sure if it's available in your country, just download one of those games and see if they work. If they work, it's most probably the API will work in your place as well. So at the moment, you can sign up for a demo. The API and SDK is there. You can already build something. The only restriction at the moment is that the playable API and the buildings itself only will be generated in Manhattan. But you already have, you know the API, you know how you do it, you know what you can do. So when it will be available to other countries and other cities, you basically don't need to do anything. It will work all over the world. And when you sign up, you will get an email with a link to the SDK and the documentation. And I found the documentation is very, very useful and very good structured, so you will be able to find everything you need. And of course, you can ask me if just connect with me on Twitter or something, and I will try to help you if you have any questions. And that's it for me.